I just got back from Stanley Smith's FFL Wolfpack Lock-In Starve the Wolf for 36 hours, where we were in their office seeing exactly what the top agents and the top agency in the industry right now is currently doing, their strategies, their tactics. And in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the 3 biggest takeaways that I took. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 4 years, we've helped nearly over 700 agents issue pay $40,000 into their bank account per month. And on this channel, I try to talk about those strategies. And today is going to be nothing short of that. So let's hop right in. Now, first and foremost, I want to start off with explaining who Stanley Smith is, what does this mean, and why is this video even important if you don't know who he is and why you should watch. So Stanley is a 23-year-old guy from Chicago, or I think it's called Naperville, if I'm not mistaken. And he's honestly probably one of the most profitable life insurance agents and agency owners in the space. He's making nearly $1 million a month himself, like direct deposits into his account. And the reason why I'm bringing him up is because I had the honor of actually being able to fly out to his facility and see exactly what him and his agents are doing. He's kind of pioneered behind himself, creating some extremely profitable agents with agents, averaging over $20,000 per month in paid commissions, which is a lot higher than the industry average, which is significantly lower. And they had an event called Starve the Wolf, which is essentially just the name of his company is called Wolfpack, where they are going out, or not going out, but they had basically a lock-in, which for those that don't know is you fly a bunch of agents into one location and you just dial and work hard for hours on out. And this one was essentially meant to be 36 hours. And on this video, I want to break down some key takeaways and things that I've learned. So first and foremost, I think the reason why this is such an important video is because a lot of people do know who this gentleman is, but they don't necessarily understand why his team is so successful. I think a lot of people are trying to figure it out. And I think the very first thing that I noticed and could pay attention to is that he actually cares. Himself, his leaders, all of his people. There was one key takeaway that I don't think a lot of people probably took away from that, but I know for sure that I did, which was that himself and all of his managers said one thing, is that in order for them to help their agents become more successful, get out of their own way, they did one thing, which is essentially they would actually sit down with their agents when things were going rough, when things were going good even sometimes, and actually get to know them. And that probably sounds like, well, Trey, what does that even mean? Obviously, they get to know the people that are working with them, duh. No, I actually mean like getting in the weeds of like, how did they grow up? What were some of the past traumas and things that they dealt with? And the reason why I think that's so important is because you have to actually care about the people you work with. And the craziest thing is they all said that they work for their agents, right? And other people say that, oh, their agents work for them. No, their thought process, what he has bleeding from the top down, is that you work for your agents. This is your company. You work for them. You make money when they make money. So it's actually your job to pour into them so you can reap your benefits. And I think that a lot of times people don't understand that, because they try to put themselves in a position where it's like, well, I'm the upline, I'm the manager, I'm the whatever, you work for me. It's like, no, I work for you, man. You are my business, right? So I have to pour into you. I have to give you all the resources. And one of the key ways is that they actually get to know the people, right? It's like a lot of times you just bring in a bunch of bodies, especially when you grow, you have no idea who you're working with. You don't know anything about their history, what they've gone through, what things could be holding them back. The reality is, and I say this all the time on my channel, and it bleeds to their company, is that it's all about your mind. They're not doing anything special. It's a bunch of 23, 24, 22, 19, 18, whatever, 20-year-old, guys and girls who are just working really hard, dedicated, and super disciplined. And I really think that's all it is. Like when you break it down, they're just extremely disciplined. But let's say that they're not disciplined. They're able to figure out why, and they're able to ask questions. They treat their team like a sales call. They actually dig deep, discover what's going on, what the process is, why are they currently struggling with this, what is allowing them or stopping them from moving forward, what is allowing them to be held back. And I think a lot of times we overlook how important that is with the people that we work for and work with, right? So I think that is super important. Number one, that was a huge takeaway. I feel like do not sleep on that, because you can easily say, that's not as important. It's all about what the leads they're running, the systems they have, their script. We're going to get into all that. But number one is like, you have to actually care. Like he and the whole organization actually want to get their agents paid. That's why they get paid. It's not because they're trying to say, hey, come in and make some money and then I'm going to make the override and I'm going to eat. No, everybody eats. Like everybody's driving nice cars. Everybody has money. The goal is for everybody to eat. And the only way that you can get everybody to eat is for everybody to get out of their own way, and you can push them to their highest level so you can get the most out of them. That's all you're trying to do, is figure out how can you get the most out of each individual that is working inside of your company. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I quickly realized that there is truly a standard across the entire company. Now, I think people talk about what a standard is. I've talked about it on my channel. I know that, in my company, we have one. Every company does not have a standard. You see teams where you have people that, like, some people show up at 9, some people show up at 10, some people show up at 11, some people do what they want, people don't dial, people leave whenever they want, people buy whatever leads, they don't understand how to invest. Like, every single person in there is like, they know how to write big premium, they know how to provide value in the why, they ask the right questions, they do the financial inventory, they get into the weeds. It's like, it's bleeding from the top down. You're not coming in here and just freestyling your own thing. People aren't just pitching numbers. They're pitching concepts. What does that mean, right? You have to understand that the origin story is like, a lot of times people think that, and they kind of shun away something like mortgage protection. Now, the reason why I talk about mortgage protection so much, and I think it's so integral to you as an agent, is because it's the closest thing to an actual sale in the life insurance space. Most of the times you're not really doing a sale. You're just kind of order taking. You're asking them a few multiple choice questions. You're trying to figure out which one's the best. You're kind of putting them in the frame. Then they pay like 80 to 200 bucks a month, which is really nothing when you think about it, and you get paid hand over fist. So it's like mortgage protection is actually like a sale. Like, you have to take somebody with they have a desired outcome and they think that they know how to get there, and you have to show them that their way of getting there is probably not right. Most of the times it's in equity protection. You're not getting lay down term policies. Like, nobody's gonna come in and be like, yeah, just give me a term. It's like, dude, like, that's not how it works. That's why false expectations. So what they have done is they've taken that mortgage protection-esque frame mind and brought it into a space with younger people who work more hours. So that's why they're getting paid more. Let me take you a few steps back. When I sold, right, a mortgage protection file inspection was only 2 leads. This was like 5 years ago, right? So now with all these other different lead types, veterans, truckers, all these little subtle niche lead types that are coming out, right? People are selling more IULs. If you just take that same mindset of how to sell a mortgage protection plan, right? And how to pitch that concept to people, and you apply that to every other lead type, you will write big premiums. And if you write bigger premiums and then you work longer hours, you make more money. It's really not complex. And that's the standard there. It's like, we're very disciplined. We're going to actually put our clients in the best possible position, but we're going to take time to discover the why, right? There's two different, I'm noticing as I've grown over the years, there's really two different type of agents. You have agents who just pitch numbers. Mary, here's 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Then you have agents who know how to pitch value. Mary, this is $10,000. Here's what it's going to do for you. Mary, here's $15,000. Here's how this is going to do this, this, and this is how it's going to do this. This is what's going to happen. Then Mary, here's the third option. This is our gold package. It's going to be $25,000. 5,000 is going to do this. 10,000 is going to do this. Another 10,000 is going to do this, right? Based off those options, what are the two most affordable options, or whatever you would say, right? In that instance, you wouldn't say two. You just say based off that, right? Based off the silver and bronze, based off the silver and gold, which option is going to make sense for your budget? Which option is going to make the most sense for you? Which option is going to make sense for you and your family? Right? You can obviously close them with whatever phrase you want to, knowing that if you say which option is going to make the most sense for you and your family, right? And that's going to be more of a financial close. One, if you're doing more value, there's going to be, if you do all of like your options are within their budget range, then you should really be closing on value. If you do, pricing, then you're anchoring on pricing. There's two different ways to do it. Doesn't matter. But that's how you close at a high clip. And then all you'd have to do is you do that more than everybody else. And as your virtual leads instead of in person, you're not driving around. So now if you're closing something like a mortgage protection at $200-300 a month, you're closing 1 or 2 deals a day. It's like, okay, now you're closing $3-6 grand a day. So you just start doing the math. People think that it's rocket science. It's really not. You partner up actual sales ability, learning how to legitimately sell, not pitching numbers, explaining the why, digging deep, partnered up with whatever leads, that don't matter, like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are working from what everybody starts at 7:30, but they're ending at 11 or 12. Like, dude, if you squeeze out 1 or 2 more deals per day, of course you're gonna make a lot more money. So you're gonna deposit more money, and then now your agency grows, and now your average agent grows, etc. So you need less people to get relatively the same amount of output with significantly less input relative from people, but more higher input per person. And that's what they're doing. So when I got there, and this is how I know this is the reality of the situation. We went from 10:30 at night, which by the way, just disclaimer, let me go ahead and throw this out here just so there's no confusion. I showed up at 10 o'clock it was basically Thursday from 7 until basically like the end of the day on Friday. I showed up Thursday at 10 p.m. I didn't leave. I had to do some things with my wife. We're actually moving. We just moved into a new place. So part of me, I got there late, right? Just being honest. I wasn't there the whole time. And then I left at like 1 in the afternoon. But I stayed up for probably in my opinion, the more important part, which was like staying up through the night and being awake. Because like through the day when you're up, you're up. It's like you can fall asleep maybe, but most of the times you don't. Anyways, so I get there and I land, and I'm literally, the training starts at 10. I show up at like 9:50 because my flight landed and I had like a 45-minute Uber drive. I get there, we start training. So I'm like playing the cut. I'm not really acting like, hey, I'm the lead guy. I'm just like, I'm an agent here. Like, let me just be an agent. Let me be a fly on the wall. I'm gonna just absorb all the game. I literally have a notepad here. They gave us notepads. I didn't try to be mightier than thou. I wrote down a ton of different things, right? I literally have 7-8 pages of notes from different people in the organization. And I'm just learning. Like, I don't think that I'm too good not to learn, right? And I think a lot of times that when you go to these events, masterminds, group, like lock-ins, whatever, just because you have money and you're doing good things doesn't mean that you can't learn. Like, I make good money relatively, right? Like, I could have went in there and been like, yeah, whatever, bro, I'm straight, like, leave me alone. It's like, nah, not really. That's not really what I'm trying to do. I'm actually trying to go in here, learn, figure out how, if I ever want to write business again, how would I do it? Well, things have changed, right? On top of like, I know a lot of different ways to like sell and I know what works, but like being in the trenches again was really, really good. And it provided a lot of revelation for myself, right? So rest assured, getting back to what I was saying, all of the trainers there, when we went from 10 to 7 a.m., just training, okay? Each session was like 45 minutes to an hour. I just sat there and consumed a bunch of information. And what I learned is, I'm like, wow, this man has created all these leaders and they all are relatively saying the same few things I said. They work really hard. And by working hard, I mean they're disciplined. I ain't gonna say they work relentlessly hard because a lot of people work hard, but they're disciplined. So they actually sit down and do what they need to do. They pitch numbers the right way, right? So they know how to pitch concepts rather than pitching numbers. So let me rephrase that. They pitch concepts. They don't just pitch numbers, but they close properly. So they close at a higher clip. And they actually care, okay? So that to me is all encompassing a standard, all right? So that's the second thing. Number one, really simple, is that they dig deep on their agents and they figure out like what's going on, what's holding them back. So you treat their agents like they do their clients, which is super important. It's like the people that work with you, you should know a lot about them and understand like what's going on in their life to help pull them and push them in different ways that you couldn't if you're just like, yeah, dude, work harder. You don't dig deep, you don't figure out, you don't learn the people, love on the people that you actually have in your organization. Number two, there's a standard that was upheld by everybody there, from the leaders bleeding down. Even if he has all these different legs, all these different like agencies and managers that are doing their own thing, but at the same time, the company culture still bleeds through, right? And then the third thing, this is the thing that I was like, yo, this is absolutely fire, and I don't think people understand this. There's so much respect. Now, you may say like, oh, okay, like that is what it is. I see in the insurance industry that most people do not respect, love, like that man has so much respect in his own organization. It's unbelievable. Like legs down, people respect him. I saw him walking around talking to people. I'm like, this dude's making $1 million a month. Like he's making way more money than me. I'll be honest. Like he's crushing it, like himself. So I'm like, and he's going around having conversations with people, right? Like actually sitting down with agents, like listening to them. I'm like, he doesn't have to do this. And that bleeds across all big time people who are really crushing it, are all relatively have the same thing. Like they listen in and they are paying attention to what's going on. They have a pulse check. Like very so much involved in the business. There's this thought process that like, we're just going to not be involved in the business. Like I've ran that too. Like, oh yeah, I just want to make so much money. Like I'm chilling. And it's like, no, Like the most successful, wealthiest people in the world, they're in their business. Like they're like, yeah, you hire people for certain parts, but like you're still in it. Now your day-to-day looks different. You might not be hopping on sales calls, but like, dude, you're still working. You are still working every day. You're still providing innovation, creativity, whatever it may be. And I don't know how often like you can get around something like that, but like if you get in that type of environment, you will just see it changes. Like I don't think that you could go to that office and not be successful. You would genuinely have to try. Like I'm not even lying. You'd have to go in there and be like, I don't want to be good. Like it's almost weird. It's like, dude, if you're not like, it was like, if you're not in there dialing, if you're not in there working, like what are you doing here? And I'm gonna go back and give my 2 cents when I bring my team and actually go as like lead lab, because I just went kind of like as an agent. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool, let me just learn. I'm very interested to see like when we got out and it was 8 or 9 a.m., people were just dead tired. I will say that, which was funny. And I guess that's my little extra thing. Like, right, like the goal was to sell 1.2 million, which they did. Like they actually crushed it. Like it's like, dude, you sold them $1.2 million in insurance in 36 hours. Like I don't even know if that's been done before. Maybe it has. That's a lot of business. I mean, if you did that every day, your agency would be doing like $17 million a month, which would be you doing 10 million. You'd be doing over $100 million a year if you sold like that at that clip every day. Which they may already, I don't know. He may already be doing that. He probably is. I have no idea. I'm just saying that's a lot of insurance in a short period of time, right? So rest assured, what I'm trying to get to is really simple. It's like, look, the only way that you're going to be able to replicate any level of success, any level of consistency that this man has done is, or if you're trying to get close to that or exceed it, whatever, I don't care. What's your prerogative? I just know there's a 23-year-old kid making $1 million a month selling life insurance with a bunch of people in one office with an amazing culture, right? And people that actually care and like respect him, but also like he respects them. It's very mutual, right? It's like his leaders respect him, he respects them. He pours into his people. I'm like, that's kind of rare. Like I work with a lot of people making a lot of money. Some people making, I don't know how much everybody makes. He's just very vocal about his. Some people may be making close to him. I don't know. Some people might be making more. Who knows? But I do know. I don't really know anybody as detailed with the conversations that he's having with each person and scaling up in that way. I know one other person, which I won't drop them, that does care at that level. And I have seen that level of pouring in. And I'm sure that they will get to his point at some point, if not exceed it. But what I'm trying to get to is, if you don't understand like what it looks like to be a part of a winning culture, I would highly recommend, if you're like an independent agent or you're looking for a home, you should definitely go over there. Like 1000%. Like to the point where if I was building right now, it's like, that's kind of the place you need to be. It is not because it's like they got the fancy cars and everything, because I think that's definitely the attraction marketing. That's just a good job marketing. Like legitimately, like these people are good. Like this is not some like they're just making $20,000 a month and then spending it. That would be dumb. That would be people that's like what I think people assume. Like, oh yeah, you got these young guys, they got like Lambos and whatever. They're just getting barely enough money to like these people are actually making bread, like legit making bread. Like if you're not depositing 40, 50, $60,000 in a month, 70, some people doing 80, people doing over $100,000. I'm like, that's insane. You're not doing that if you don't know how to sell, you don't know how to provide value, you don't care, and you're not extremely disciplined. I don't care what anybody says. In any facet of your life, doesn't matter. Right? They're also spending a lot on leads. Like I was not the only lead company there. Respect. There were other lead companies doing discounts, stuff like that. I'm sure they were having giveaways, whatever. Once again, I came in more as an agent. But like, they're not afraid to invest. They're not afraid to put the money up. They also don't really care about failing and losing money. I heard a lot of people, even agents and agency owners, talking about how like money they lost, opportunities, and they were very candid and open about it. Like they're not hiding what this is. Even in the way that they do their sales pitches, there's no finesse. It's very straightforward. It's like, hey, this is so-and-so. You were looking into life insurance for this. Like, does that ring a bell? It's like, yeah, it's perfect, cool. They just roll. Like, all right, so you're mainly looking for this or for this. It's super direct to the point. There's no beating around the bush. There's no fluffiness. And I think that is so gone. And like the fact that they're like, no, like if you work with us, like you got to fly here. Like this, you got to be a part of this culture. Like we're creating something physically where you have to show up. If you can't show up, this ain't for you. And that level, that standard is like gone now for so many different people. But I want to elaborate that if you are an agent or an agency owner and you need to tap, you like looking for a way to like, I'm trying to get out of my situation, you need to hit that man up. Like you need to, you reach out to me and I can put you in contact with somebody. Like that culture is where you want to be if you're an agent who's struggling, who's looking to get over the hump. You're an agency owner who's trying to like get the blueprint of like, how do I make and print more money? It's like, this is what you need to do. I need to get my agents paid. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. This is what you need to do. This is the process. It's like, there's nothing more, nothing less. And if you can follow that to a T, you will be successful. You really will. And that's all I try to do in this channel is try to pour out. So I went out to the event to learn, to be a sponge, treat myself like I was an agent, to get a lot of perspective. I have more notes, which I may continually break down. Like it was a lot of mindset stuff that they were going through. It's just like, dude, a lot of these people are far beyond their age, like far beyond their age, far beyond it. And I think people are starting to become more and more attracted to life insurance because they're realizing what it can do. They really are. They're realizing like what no matter where you're at, no matter what business you ran, what it can do and how you can grow and the type of money you can make and really the type of impact by just giving somebody a license. They literally, like I say all the time, it's like a weapon. You have the ability when you have a license, you have a deadly weapon at all times. As long as you can get social security numbers, routing, and account numbers, you can kind of sign somebody up and most companies are going to give you an advance. And then at that point, it's all on you. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.